Kevin Feige, I know that there is a 99.9% chance that you will never ever see this video, you will never ever hear this message, but I am so delusional because I still believe that there is a 0.001% chance that you will actually hear what I'm trying to ask you. And the question is that can you please remove the Russo brothers and replace the Russo brothers from directing and writing and producing Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and can you please replace them with whoever is writing Daredevil Born Again? I'm not capping with you guys. I think Daredevil Born Again, narratively and with the crazy cinematography that we're seeing throughout all of these episodes, I do believe that as a whole, Daredevil Born Again is the best thing we have seen coming out from the MCU probably since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I'm not even lying, I'm not even capping. I do think that if Daredevil Born Again gets a season 2, that it could actually even be better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because man, every single episode except episode 5 where we saw Daredevil stop that bank robbery, in my honest opinion, every single episode except that episode is so good. It's so great. It's really loving the character of Daredevil, even though this show actually diminished Muse's aura and his story, and they did not need to kill Muse that early. Even though Muse died in the comics, Muse, when he first encountered Daredevil, he was actually arrested and he was sent to prison, but then he later died. But that's just one little outlier about this show. And I know a lot of people, they don't like Cherry and they don't like a lot of the side characters that were introduced in this show, but to be honest with you, even though I myself, I do not like Cherry as well, I do think that that is another outlier as well. I think that overall this show, when you don't look at episode 5, when you don't look at Muse's ending, and when you don't look at Cherry, this show is the best thing that Marvel has put out since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I know I am repeating myself, but I have to emphasize this, and I'm pretty sure all of you know that the Russo brothers, they were great when they made Captain America the Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. All 4 movies, in my honest opinion, are all peak and are all really great. But when you're looking at the Russo brothers' recent track record, you're seeing the Electric States. That movie is so ass. It was so disgusting, in my honest opinion. You see the Gray Man, that movie was mid. You're also seeing the first Extraction. Even though Extraction 2 was better than the first one, the first Extraction was pretty mid. And you're seeing Cherry. So it seems that the Russo brothers, they're only really good with doing Marvel type projects, but the Electric State was so recent that I'm asking Kevin Feige, can you please actually reconsider the people that are writing Avengers Doomsday, because these writers for Daredevil Born Again, especially the new writers that are taking on episode 8 and episode 9, because when we see episode 8, man, this shit is crazy. This is really good, and this is actually the real reason why I'm even trying to bring this question out in the air. And when we look at episode 8, this is actually the calm before the storm, because we all know that episode 9 is going to be a crazy episode that will have a lot of implications in the Daredevil mythos inside the MCU, man, because this episode starts off and we see that Bullseye, remember, he is still in protective custody, he is still in PC inside the prison, but something happens. Someone behind the scenes actually pulls some strings, and they have Bullseye transferred from PC, from protective custody, and they made Bullseye get transferred into general population. Remember, Bullseye, throughout his entire history in the MCU, he's made a lot of enemies, and he, you know, does not want to be in general population. Remember, he was sentenced to life in prison. So Bullseye, when he's serving his life sentence in Gen Pop, he is going to be a big target, man. So Bullseye, he is actually panicking. Not panicking in the way that you think. He's not actually hyperventilating, or he's not actually getting into a manic episode. But Bullseye, he silently panics enough that he contacts someone that you would not think that he would contact. And the person that he contacted was Daredevil, was Matt Murdock. And now we're looking at Matt Murdock as well. We're seeing that he is not in the right state of mind. He is so frustrated, so irritated with what's happening. And we see that when Matt and Kirsten, they have this new client, and this client, he basically scammed a lot of schools and a lot of teachers. Matt, he loses it. He goes off on the client, and he tells Kirsten that, you know, all of the efforts we're doing, it's actually so fruitless. Like, we're seeing Kingpin, he is successfully destroying vigilantes. The Hector Ayala's entire trial and then his eventual death all happened because of Kingpin. Every single time we're trying to fix something, it always ends up becoming worse. It's like as if we're just trying to stop chaos, and it's hopeless. That is actually very real, because Kingpin, this entire show, Kingpin, he really is winning. Kingpin has been taking so many W's. And when Daredevil, he tells Kirsten this, Kirsten tries to tell Matt that, look, everything's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. But Matt now drops a bombshell onto Kirsten, and he tells Kirsten that Poindexter, aka Bullseye, just called me to the prison. Kirsten tries to tell Matt not to go, but Matt, I'm not even gonna lie, he's tweaking out this entire episode, and rightfully so. If you were in his shoes, you would see why he is so frustrated. So Matt, he now goes to Poindexter. But speaking of Kingpin, let's talk about what Kingpin is doing with Vanessa, because when Kingpin and Vanessa, they are in the same cellar that Kingpin is holding Adam. Kingpin is trying to tell Vanessa that, look, I am nothing without you, Vanessa. Without you, I am basically a loser. I am a nobody. If I can't have you, I am nothing. So as he is telling Vanessa this, as he is professing his heart out to Vanessa, we see that Adam is screaming. He's trying to get Kingpin or Vanessa to release him, and he is telling them that, look, I will not tell anyone this. I will keep my mouth shut. But Vanessa, she is so shocked, she is bewildered to the fact that Kingpin will hide this from her. But the thing is, Vanessa has secrets of her own, because remember, in the last episode, Vanessa, she called a hit out on Kingpin, but that hit ultimately failed. So then Vanessa, she is overwhelmed with what's happening. She actually grabs a gun and she shoots and kills Adam. And that is crazy, man. It seems that Vanessa, it's not as if like it's a Stockholm syndrome, but it's like Vanessa, she is just too deep into this life, and she is just so deep into her relationship with Kingpin. So after this, we see the crazy confrontation with Daredevil and Bullseye, man. Daredevil, he goes into the interrogation room that Bullseye is at, and Poindexter, he's trying to tell Matt Murdock that, look, you know, I know this is a weird meeting, but you got to help me, man. It seems that someone pulled some strings and they removed me from my protective custody and they brought me into the Gen Pop. They're treating me like an animal. Is that what you think, Matt? Is that who you think I am? Do you think that I'm an animal as well? But Matt, he's so funny, man. Matt tells Poindexter, like, basically to go fuck yourself. Matt is just telling Poindexter that, yeah, you are an animal, you deserve this. And he grabs Poindexter by his head and he's basically just berating him. He is telling him that he's worthless, he's lifeless, and he now slams his head down onto the table. And this is so funny, Matt actually lies to the guards and he tells the guards that, yo, Poindexter is crazy, he just slammed his head onto the table twice. And this now causes the guards to remove Poindexter, but Poindexter is just chuckling, he's laughing. And the reason why he's laughing is because Matt is trying to ask Poindexter, who are you working for? Were you working with Kingpin when Foggy died? What is your relationship with Kingpin? What is your relationship? But the thing is, his relationship with Kingpin is not what Matt thinks, because Kingpin was the one that pulled the strings and brought Poindexter to general population. Kingpin wanted to make Poindexter die, either in Gen Pop or the transportation scene, because during the transportation scene, we see that Poindexter, he escapes the prison hold. He kills all of the guards. He literally is so insane. He is King Von. He is worshiping King Von. I think every single day he wakes up, he reads the King Von Bible, and he knows exactly how to kill someone in the most creative way, because Poindexter, he shoots out his teeth and it now kills a guard. Remember, Bullseye in the comics, he's a master killer. He does this every single day. Bullseye in the comics, he kills anyone and everyone in the most creative way. So I really like that they made Bullseye comic accurate, and how creative and how precise he kills people, man. This is so great in my honest opinion. I'm glazing, but it's so great. Then after this, Poindexter, he escapes. He steals the prisoners' guards' uniforms. Then he now goes into that entire gala meeting with the mayor and Vanessa and, you know, Kingpin's entire lackeys, and even the commissioner, who is a good guy, but he is not on board with Kingpin's task force. He hates everything that Kingpin is doing, and we see that Matt and Heather, they attend, but Matt is trying to drive the point home to Heather that you need to stop supporting Kingpin. Kingpin, he is evil. Stop thinking that vigilantes are the evil people. It's Kingpin. But Heather, in my honest opinion, is a dumbass. Heather really wants to support Kingpin, so when they are invited to the gala, Matt, he is tweaking. I think Matt, man, he must have popped a bean or something, because Matt was tweaking. Matt, he was trying his hardest to get closer and closer to Vanessa and Kingpin, because Matt, he is putting two and two together, and he is realizing that, wait, when Foggy died, Kingpin was not even in power. That was a year before Kingpin even came back to Hell's Kitchen, New York. So the only person that could have even paid Bullseye to kill Foggy was Vanessa. So during the dance, when the mayor and his wife are dancing, we see that Daredevil crashes the dance. Daredevil basically cucks Kingpin, and as he is dancing with Vanessa, he is telling Vanessa, I know that you were the reason that Foggy died. I know it's because of you that my best friend is gone. But as this is happening behind the scenes, we're seeing that Bullseye is making his way throughout the entire building. He gets to a vantage point. He has a sniper rifle. He is loading it. He is aiming that sniper rifle, and then he shoots the sniper rifle. But remember, Daredevil's heightened senses. Daredevil hears the gun cocking before the gun eventually shot the bullet. So Daredevil, you know, he nobly sacrifices himself so that Kingpin won't be killed. But Kingpin is such a hater to Matt Murdock that he just drops his lifeless body as if it was like a sack of potatoes, man. And man, that episode is so crazy. Episode 8 really makes me believe that I do believe that these writers should be writing Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, because the Russo brothers recently dropped a stinker with Electric State. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a good job overall. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the same quality as we saw in Captain America Civil War, Avengers Endgame, and Avengers Infinity War. But you know, I'm a little skeptical, man, because Electric State was so ass. It was booty cheeks, man. So I'm desperate. Kevin Feige, if you're listening to this, I'm desperate. These writers for Daredevil Born Again, they are actually proving that they love the comics. Even though they change some things, they still keep it fairly comic accurate. And these writers, they know how to write a story, man. That's the end of the video. I'm out. Peace.